All right, welcome back to another SegWeather video. Here is your forecast for your Tuesday, August 4th of 2026. We are going to go ahead and dive into the details starting with this morning. This is as of 6:20 this morning. We have some ongoing showers occurring across parts of the Midwest this morning into parts of the Central Plains that will continue to move slowly off towards the east as we progress throughout the day. Will fall apart as well as we'll encounter some drier air in this region, as this region will not be seeing any storms or activity today. So all this is going to fall apart on its head later on this morning and into this afternoon. A couple showers around the coast right now. Looking at the current watches and warnings, not much going on this morning for much of the country except for the west coast, where we have all the heat advisories and heat warnings that's in place for the southwestern corner of the U.S. The dark pinks representing extreme heat warnings that will go throughout the day today. The oranges represent heat advisories that will also go throughout your day today. Looking at heat indices well over 100 for all of these areas, and then the Pacific Northwest towards the Rockies, looking at those air quality alerts due to those fires ongoing that will be in place throughout your day today, and then a little area over parts of eastern Texas that will continue throughout your day on your Tuesday. So watching that haze and smoke very closely. And speaking of that fire risk, we do have that slight chance for some fire potential across parts of the Rockies for your day today. So an active potential day in this area, but elsewhere, not looking too bad at all. But still, we will have those fires ongoing across parts of Washington, Oregon, Idaho this morning, as unfortunately this situation remains quite dire at this time with those fires burning. And speaking of this evening, expecting those hazy, smoky skies over much of the west coast, looking at some purples and reds indicating where the smoke will be quite thick, looking at those orangey skies being likely in those areas, and then out towards the east, looking more at those hazier skies for parts of the plains to the Midwest. So quite a hazy day, more of the milky white skies for you guys, but for the west coast, more of the orangey, very musty looking skies at this time. So if you are in parts of the west coast, I would highly recommend staying inside throughout the day today, as it will be quite smoky, unfortunately. The skies and the air quality will be pretty bad too. Now looking at today, temperature wise, looking at a hot day for much of the southern plains to the deep south. Temperatures 90s to 100s. Southwest corner of the U.S. temperatures reaching 120s. Looking towards the Midwest, temperatures in the 80s today, so a bit more humid this afternoon. Temperatures in the 70s across the East Coast, as well towards the 80s around the Mid-Atlantic. The southeastern corner in the 90s as well. And then looking at the upper plains, two parts of the Pacific Northwest, temperatures in the 70s today, so much cooler day, fall-like day, following a front that's currently moving through this part of the country. So looking at that being the case for your Tuesday afternoon. And then looking ahead at the pattern switch with the upper level jet, we do expect the heat to remain consistent over the southwestern corner of the U.S. So this is where we will have the hotter air anomalies taking place. That's going to remain in that area throughout the course of the week, and then towards the East Coast, looking at potentially developing heat wave could potentially impact parts of the East Coast by later on this week, but up to north, the cooler air retreating slowly. So going from the coolish air to potentially milder air as we progress throughout the course of the week. And that'll be by Saturday, August 8th, coming up this next weekend. Looking at that transition happening around then as that milder air returns back up to north. And looking at severe weather threat, not looking at much for your Tuesday, looking at a very low end threat for parts of the mid-Atlantic area towards the East Coast, and then parts of that towards the Southwest, but elsewhere, nothing to worry about for your Tuesday morning. Looking at the tornado risk, nothing to talk about this morning. Looking at the damaging wind threat, only up to a 5% chance of damaging winds being possible, with up to about 45, maybe 50 mile per hour winds being possible. The strongest storms, maybe a 60 mile per wind gust thrown in there as well. And then hail risk looking quite low, mainly for the southwestern corner of the U.S. as well at this time. Now, looking at the excessive rainfall outlook for today, looking at up to a slight risk over the southeastern corner of the U.S. That'll be in place throughout your day today. A margin risk up in parts of the upper Midwest and also the southwestern corner of the U.S., seeing that being possible as well. And then looking at futurecasts, this is between now and Wednesday morning, expecting those showers from chances to dissipate at first across the upper plains, but will develop into a more pronounced line by later on this evening and into Wednesday morning as it does pivot its way through the Midwest, looking at a wet setup for a lot of these areas into portions of Wisconsin, Iowa, and perhaps into the western part of Illinois by later on tonight and going to Wednesday morning. So watching that very closely as this cold front begins to track off to the east. Some showers around the coast as well, and then a few showers possible in the southwestern corner of the U.S. And same thing for Florida, a few showers and storms being possible as well. But that's it for this update. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. And if you want to see more of this content, don't forget to subscribe to always get updated on whenever I drop a video on this channel. Have a great day and stay weather aware.